So I
And I
was
also
doing.
love that within like 20, 30 seconds of our characters being around each other, they're just like, I like this guy. This guy gets it.
Yeah, what was the first thing that you said to my character?
By the ancestors, you're a big one. What's your name, Frank? Because I think our characters are the same height.
Yeah, we are. We have determined that we are the same height. And I am a giant lion man, and you are a Goliath. I put an image in the Discord for them so that they could get a picture of like a Leonin, like putting a hand on a human shoulder, and the paw of the Leonin just takes up like their entire shoulder and top of their arm, bicep. It's so good. How big Leonin's is. It's so great.
So we're essentially the same height, same build, just you're a giant lion.
Mm-hmm.
And so these two barbarians just go strutting up to this farm with everyone else in tow because they don't know what to think of this guy.
No, we start heading up the road. We get ambushed first, but we actually
Oh yeah,
caught
we
the
did get
ambush
ambushed.
before it happened. And they were the goblins were waiting alongside the road. The the ranger finds one of them first, and is able to yell out to us. It's an ambush before everything is sprung. Well, they still are able to do the spring and still get surprised, I believe.
And nobody was able to hit much of anything on us.
No, we go up and we go after the magic casting hobgoblin, and that magic casting hobgoblin actually took a big chunk out of my Leonin right off the bat. Took him down to like half health. No, wait, that was the ogre at the farm. No, this ogre did not hit me, or this hobgoblin did not hit me. I think he hit me for a little bit because magic missile doesn't miss, but he did not really do anything to me. And then he did Thunder Wave as soon as I got close, so he did launch me back. And I didn't even get a chance to attack him.
And then I knocked him out.
Yes. We killed off all the goblins. I think two ran away, and
Yeah, two escaped north.
we drug that hobgoblin back to the camp. Spent the night at the camp. Was informed that we got some info. I forget the info we got because I was not really paying attention. I'm sorry, I wasn't. It's how things be
Um,
sometimes.
that he was just an apprentice, and there was like this main person that had like 11 more of the bitches.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember all of the information because I'm one of those that I forget to actually take notes.
I usually don't, but with that campaign, that one, I was rushing a little bit to be able to get to it. I don't remember what was happening. Oh wait, no, no, I had just woken up, and I had to hurry and get on, so I could join in. And then things start messing up, and I had to reset a little bit of my setup for my computer to be able to join properly, and then yeah, then we were already in it. So I didn't get to take notes on that one. But I mean, I'm just joining the party. I don't really know what's going on, so there wasn't really much for me to take notes of. They did take notes. The rest of the party did. They posted in the Discord so I could go back and read it. But yeah, we take them back. We stayed the night. Next morning, we decided to go after the farm. We stride up to the farm. We decide that the two barbarians are going to try and take care of two ogres that were around the barn at the back of the farm. While most of everyone else comes in from the other side and attacks the goblins and hobgoblins. So that way they don't get ambushed by the ogres. Oh, also, real fun character moment. And if you are a player and you have the opportunity, play out these kind of funny character moments. When we were ambushed by the goblins and the first hobgoblin, we right at the end, we had just finished clearing up, and the hobgoblin that's in the party walks up from up to the party, and my Leonin hasn't seen this person yet. He was never introduced to this person, so he launches at that person to attack them. And thanks to Morval, the other barbarian, stepping between them, he was able to talk down my Leonin from attacking them.
And a deal was struck that if he does anything to betray the party, the Leonin has permission to eat the hobgoblin.
Yes. I've also been making jokes with the Leonin that he takes the fingers of the goblins and hobgoblins because they're biteable
Quick
snacks.
snack.
They're like pizza pockets. Little snacks you can just pop on the way. And so he said, what was it? What was
I mean, goblin heads are the snack that smiles back.
Yeah, but they're also a little bit big to carry. So
I mean, for the longest time, Morval had a fucking hobgoblin head tied to his belt.
Yeah.
Until he realized Mookie was a hobgoblin.
Oh man, what was I? I was gonna go. He was saying something about fingers. That he wanted a finger. I forget now. And you offered 2 of yours.
If he does end up featuring the group, no, it's not the health potion.
The health potion.
If Bridget was lying about the health potion not working, you could have 2 of Morval's fingers.
Yes, I had fun with that. Bridget offered me a health potion, but she wasn't sure if it actually was a health potion. And my character was like, I don't know if this is a health. I don't know if I trust this. If this isn't a health potion, Bridget was saying if this isn't a health potion, I'll give you some money. And I said, if it isn't a health potion, you give me a finger. And Bridget didn't like that too much, so Morval stepped in and said, if it isn't a health potion, Morval will give him 2 fingers. And the Leona was like, I like this man. Agreed. I meant
to add in Morval saying, like, I will give you 2 of my fingers. And then hold up his hands, and you will get to pick them.
Yes. So we have fun role playing in that one.
We also have to fight a fucking zombie ogre now.
Yes. So the last thing that happened is we killed off one of the ogres. The hobgoblin druid. That's right?
Furbolg.
The Furbolg druid went down, and my barbarian.
No, the druid didn't go down. The Furbolg druid did not go down. It was the monk that went down.
It was the monk. Yeah, it was the hobgoblin.
Yeah, you said hobgoblin druid. I'm like, no, the druid's a Furbolg. Okay,
the hobgoblin monk went down, and because the ogre, the second ogre, had gone down that way rather than coming up to us after we killed the first ogre. So I ran after the second ogre to kill it. I did my daunting roar that all Leonins can do and actually terrified that ogre, which was absolutely hilarious.
It was great!
And I chased after that ogre, and that ogre gets down there and knocks the monk unconscious. And I get down there to offer support to get the monk out of there. There were some zombies that appeared and got in our way, but I was able just to bypass them. None of them hit me because my AC is way too high for them. Because 14 is way too high for anything. Apparently.
And then fucking Moonbeam, dude.
Yes, Moonbeam did work that session. Well, I get down there and I start attacking that one. I think we killed it, And right about that time, all the zombies collapsed, and the ogre stood up. The first one that we killed.
Because the head of that farm right now is this necromancer called Rawl.
Who is a necromancer. Yeah, you just said that. I listen.
But hey, either way, it's still a good point to put out.
Yes. Oh, that's what I was going to say. He is a necromancer goblin. That is such a weird character type. But I love it.
A goblin necromancer?
Yeah. Yeah, so that is pretty much where that one's set. One of the players had to
I've got
leave,
one weirder for you.
so we paused right in the center of combat.
Yes. That is actually a habit of this group, is to stop in the middle of combat.
It is.
Or combat's going to start.
This DM is also very new, and there's a few tips that I could point out that he did not play properly, but I'm going to leave it for now. Yeah. So anyways, that is Goblin Wilds. And I think that's all the time we have for tonight's stream.
Sorry, what was that?
I think that's all we're going to be able to talk about for tonight.
Which means we still have Bearster
And Farragut.
Yeah.
But both of those probably could take up a full stream to talk about.
Well, I wasn't there much for Bearster.
You weren't, but I'm still going to actually talk about the whole thing because there's a lot that happened, and it's actually my favorite campaign that I've run. So,
speaking of Bearster, I do have to. I did want to talk to you, the DM, about something real quick because I put the wrong date. I put the wrong age on my character sheet.
Okay.
It says he's 30. He's actually 23.
I don't think anyone's asked you your age yet, so you can change that at will.
Well, I still wanted to bring it to your attention. You're the DM, and I don't want to be doing sketchy shit.
Yeah, that's fine.
I figured that would be your answer, but cautious over careless.
So next week, do you want to start with Barrister or do you want to start with Farragut? And then actually at the beginning what we're going to do is we're going to update about Fear and Loathing and Goblin Wilds on what happened. And then we will launch into either Barrister or Farragut and catch up on that. And then once we're all caught up on those, we can start doing weekly updates on all the campaigns, on what is happening, where it's going, who's doing what, who finally got kicked out of the group that should have been kicked out 6 months ago.
Speaking of Farragut, while I've got you on stream, if you remember, the Dungeon Master pulled me aside a couple of times.
Yes.
So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of information because some of it's just some stuff Petrin has noticed and some stuff that was confided to him by the Archdruid. Petrin is a Wood Elf Druid, just to give everyone that idea. But do you remember a couple sessions ago the fear that Petrin was talking to Roman about?
About being reassigned away from the direwolves.
Yes. That second time the Archdruid pulled me away was that conversation.
About reassigning you somewhere else?
No. The Archdruid pulled Petrin aside and asked him, "Do you want to stay in the direwolves?" It ended up being Petrin's choice. And Petrin said, "I am a Shadowmire Druid, and a servant of Aegwin first and foremost. But I believe I am needed with the direwolves. So I don't know if that was a way for the DM saying like, "Hey, I know you had these other characters you wanted to try. Do you want to do that?" Or if that was just like a cool little roleplay moment.
I think it was a roleplay moment. I think it was more
Because
on the note of being like, um, this is something that they would actually say. This is something that your character could decide to do. And this is more like a final, to put those kind of fears out of your mind, to make it seem like they're not going to reassign you from the direwolves because it's your choice.
well, Archdruid also said that she believes that my place right now is to help the direwolves with what we're trying to do.
Yeah, so I think that was just because you expressed those fears, even if you were just like playing your character. It's because you expressed those fears that he was trying to make clear to you that it is your choice. Because out of character, it is your choice what your character does.
Yes, absolutely. I was just that was something that in character is something Petrin would have been thinking about. Just like because he has completed his mission on gathering information about the Thessalisk. That was what he was sent out to do.
Well, we gathered
So if they are,
information, but we have to act on that information now.
his orders were not to act on said information. It was just to gather information on the Thessalisk.
Do you
Since his mission
remember,
is complete.
real quick? Do you, yeah, no, I understand. Do you remember what we were told from Mikazuo about what I was supposed to keep secret about the shade? Because I
I do
really
not.
don't remember. I honestly do not remember what part of it I was supposed to keep secret.
I didn't know you were supposed to. I think you were just supposed to make sure that no one knew who exactly gave you the shade.
Probably.
And then
That's
the
what I'm
information
thinking, but I just don't remember properly.
I'm not going to go into too much detail are just things that Petrin noticed during the last combat and some confided information from the Archdruid.
Is it about the druids, or is it about the? Is it about Rowan?
It is not about Rowan
Is it about
or Bran.
Redbird?
It is about Redbird.
You think she's possessed?
No.
I want to know. What do you think? Not what did the Archdruid confide in you, but what do you think?
Uh, I can do that. I can do that. Um, Redbird is a bard, yes?
Yeah.
Most bards have a tendency to use music magically, yes?
She didn't use music.
The only time she plays music is when she's teaching Rowan or Petrin with his pan flute.
She's not a bard.
And if you notice, when you switch to kill mode, she dropped two of those guys instantly.
She's a rogue.
She coat she coated them with poison,
Yeah, she's a rogue.
which means she's proficient with poison. And when combat was over and victory was decided, what did Petrin and Redbird do? Immediately started clearing the rest of the garrison.
Well, not just that, but she was also barking orders.
So, without
Oh
spilling,
man, Oh, she's a rogue, and her false identity is a bard, Redbird. Oh my goodness. Oh no! Does that mean that her other is a false identity too? No, it can't be. I bet her history is not a mystery. I don't think, or not a mystery, but I don't think she lied about her history. I think she actually is part of the the family that she said she was. And I think
Okay, I
that's
won't tell you what the Archdruid said, but what Petra noticed is that she was real quick after victory was basically assured to go through and clear out the rest of the garrison. And when Petrin caught up to her, she was fighting with a sort of um not I don't mean savagery, but just like a way that wouldn't really very unbard like with her swords. So I'm thinking that she's an assassin.
okay.
And it has not been confirmed or denied, I can tell you that, but I believe that Redbird might be Kalira. Me as a player, not me as Petrin.
Huh.
And I started thinking it even more so when you gave the kill order and she coated her weapons in a poison that dropped those guys instantly. Who else do we know of that had very debilitating poison?
Are you ever gonna confide this into Rowan?
I haven't decided if I'm going to confront Redbird about it or talk to Rowan about it. Like, on one hand, Petrin would probably pull Redbird away and talk to her about it. But if she is Kalira, Petrin might die. Petrin just might go missing.
Well, the thing I would have to say about that is she would have had to have a lot of healing spells, or at least a lot of healing potions. Well, I guess we didn't hurt her that badly. Never mind. Because I was gonna say we damaged her pretty good in the house before it burned down, but we actually didn't. He actually said she had quite a bit of health left still.
Yeah, we barely touched her.
Yeah.
So she could have just popped a potion and then we didn't actually see Redbird till what, a couple days after?
No, it was almost immediately. No, it was a couple days. Never mind. If not the
So that
next
would have
day
been
or that night. Yeah, so that's a
so
very good possibility. Um, I don't know. She doesn't seem to act like how he had Kalira uh, act, and
it's a cover.
I understand that, but I also don't think that's the case personally. Just because she could have had multiple times to kill us after we issued that challenge, and now that we know her name and all that, but she hasn't. So the question becomes, why is that? Because she could have turned us in. She could have turned us in for a lot of wealth and gotten the assassins killed up there in standing with the Council of Five and the two apprentices. So there is a very good possibility, but also it is quite possible that she isn't.
It's also kind of suspicious how adamant she is about going into Morgul Sothis, even though she's known for a
No,
while that
no, no. She is very adamant about us not doing that because it's
that
suicide.
that's what I meant.
My character is very adamant that we need to, because that's where we need to go. Because we have to try. We have to try and stop this thing. So yeah, we will get to actual full Theragoth campaign recap next week. There is not enough time to be able to go through all of that this week. The other thing I
Oh no,
wanted,
not the slightest.
the other thing I did want to say was that campaign idea I told you I mentioned at the beginning. The campaign idea I had, following with a basically copying the idea behind the Unis Honest YouTube channel. If you
Mm-hmm.
watched or heard about that, I think we told you about it. Do you remember about it at all?
I've heard of it. I didn't actually watch any of it.
But do you know what it was about?
Not in the slightest.
Not in the slightest. It was a YouTube channel put on by Markiplier and Ethan of Crank Gameplays, who are really good friends. Well, I say
Yeah, I
really
know
good
those two.
friends, but they also hate each other at the same time.
It's a bromance.
Yeah. They created a channel called Unus Honest, which in Latin means 1 year. And it was a channel that was going to be on YouTube for exactly 1 year, and then they deleted it. They made one video a day for exactly 1 year, and then they deleted the channel, and that was it. A lot of people did archive the channel videos, but that was not the point of the channel. Some people have been re-uploading videos, and they've been fighting to get those taken down, because that was not the point of the channel. The channel was to remind people that everything has an end. Nothing is permanent. And one day, it could be your last day. It could be your last year. So live life to the fullest. Do those crazy things that you just don't care about, or you don't think you'd like to do. Go ahead and do it. Be crazy. Live your life. That was the whole purpose of the channel, and I think it accomplished its goal extremely well. So me and Tim have been we came up with this idea today. Well, I came up with the idea, I pitched it to him, and we started talking about how we would go about it. Of doing well, back up a step. We have been talking for a little while of each of us doing a grave cleric and playing these in a campaign. Both of us doing a grave cleric. One being dressed in all black, one being dressed in all white. Unis and honest. And we would be very set on accepting death. And as grave clerics, that's what grave clerics are all about. They are very good about determining, they determine who lives and who dies. They are basically half in the grave and half out of the grave. They are on the borderline, basically like the Grim Reaper that judges people and decides whether they should be dead or not. And we thought that would be a fun spin on grave clerics. What I came to an idea today was to use them as the villains for a campaign. And instead of they have 1 year to live, they make it so the party has 1 year to live. How do the adventurers fare in their 1 year of living? Do they change how they act? Do they go a little bit more crazy because they're going to die in 1 year? And we were toying around with this idea, and it sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Have the only cure for it being either like a 9th level casting of Remove Curse, or a wish spell to wish themselves to be able to survive it, or defeating the characters known as Unis and Honest. But the players
Sell it
wouldn't know.
barbarian.
They wouldn't know if Unis and Honest would be if killing them would actually remove the curse from them. So it's a gamble, and it's very much a character-driven story. What do the characters do? What do they decide to do with their life? Are they going to go out and farm up XP and try and go for Wish? Or are they going to try and get as far as they can and possibly try and stop and kill Unis and Honest? It's really up to the players to decide. And I think it would be a lot of fun. So that was our pitched campaign idea. What do you think?
That would definitely be interesting.
If your character suddenly realized that you have only 1 year to live, you can get a lot done in a year. But also, as the time grows close, you start to become more and more desperate. So I also had the idea that the campaign would run kind of like the Curse of Strahd, where Strahd is like the big bad, and you know this from the start. Like immediately as soon as you walk into Barovia, you understand that Strahd is the big bad. And he constantly can appear to the group and taunt them, but always has an exit strategy to get back out. And I kind of feel that that's how it's going to be. It's going to be Unis and Honest come in at random times, and they talk about how the players should just accept their death and they should go live their life to the fullest, and and taunt them about the things that they're choosing to do with their time, and laugh at them for spending time doing worthless things, and just taunt them, and then see how
And
the
what
party
if one of the
reacts.
characters decided to go and live their life to the fullest?
Well, then that's exactly what they could do. It is nothing against the player at all. They probably still would die at the end of the year, because that is not a condition in which they were able to break the curse, because um, the channel Unis Honest, its channel lived for a full year, and they had a following, they had a cult following, and in the end, they both felt like they had done everything they could for that year. Markiplier felt very accomplished by it. He felt very happy, and I mean, he was sad that it was going away, but he felt very satisfied at what they had done, the result of it all. And Ethan felt
What
very
if the player
sad.
character dies and is resurrected before then?
See, no. If the character were to die, we talked about this as well. If they were to die, what they get is they get a vision of a black and white spiral, because that is very characteristic of Unis Honest. A black and white spiral with an hourglass, with sand pouring down through it, with one skull in the top and one skull in the bottom. And the sand is pouring, and it keeps pouring. And then they are stable at 0. But it's very much a Unis Honest thing to have that hourglass. So they never actually really die, because it's not their time to die yet. They are set to die in a year.
What about power word kill, though?
They would do the exact same thing. There is no difference, and they probably won't. They probably won't get to a level where they're actually going to fight against something that has power word kill. Just saying, a year is a long time, yes, but sometimes it takes like 3 to 4 weeks just to travel from one city to the next, depending how far those cities are from each other. So, It's gonna be very much a difficult task to do, to be able to fight something that could do power word kill. But again, it wouldn't make a difference. Like it has to be very plot armor heavy for the players, but also make it feel like that looming threat of death is very real, and you have to become powerful enough to be able to stop it.
Although I also feel like even killing Unis and Anis would actually remove the curse.
Yeah, no, it would. I would. That's one of the win conditions that I would put. Is killing them would end the curse as well, and they could walk away free. All right, I'm going to send you on Discord the hourglass, specifically what it looks like, because it is very, very characteristic of Unis Honest. Is the image that they went with. Their slogan was "Memento Mori," which is translates to "Remember Death," as in remember everything dies, everything has an end. But because of that, everything can live its life to the fullest.
Just understand that that could turn into a murder hobo
It
campaign.
really could. It very, really could. And that is something to say about the kind of players the characters are. Or the type of characters the players are wanting to play. It very much could. And that's why I'm not going to be the primary DM. Tim is. Tim is going to be the primary DM, and I'm going to be the co-DM. I'm going to be there to help create the situations before we actually go into the session. I'm going to be there to help with rulings during the session, and I'm probably going to play some of the NPCs. Maybe control a couple of the monsters. But the majority of
depending
the
on
DMing,
how good,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
depending on how easy or hard you want to make it, if you had a bunch of lawful good characters, then it is going to be incredibly hard to get strong enough to beat Unis and Anis.
What if I was DMing? The way I would do it is when they actually go to fight Unis and Honest, like after almost a year has passed, like within the last like month, when they go to fight Unis and Honest, I would scale Unis and Honest to whatever their level is. So it is difficult fight, but it is fair.
But
Any
they
other
also have to
time
go through
before
their
that,
following.
any other time before that, Unis and Honest are going to be way too powerful for them.
But if you have a bunch of characters that they find out that they have a year to live, unless they can defeat Unis Anis or have a high enough spell level, and you have like a cleric or like a sorcerer or something, and you guys go full murder hobo, jump them up so that they can actually do the thing before the year's up. Like it
Oh,
all just
yeah, no, we planned that it's gonna be very milestone progression. It's not gonna be experience based on what you kill. So again, if
that is very clever.
yeah, no, that's something I just thought of actually, but no, I usually run my games off of milestone, as you know from Barrister. I think
Which
like
is why I was saying, like, if it's EXP based, then you might end up with just a party of murder hobos that are going to try to jump their levels up as quickly as possible,
yeah,
so that they
no,
can just be like, no, fuck your curse.
no, I don't do EXP unless I'm doing like right now the Diablo 3 campaign is EXP, but that's because I'm also using a lot of new creatures. I'm using it from a homebrew book I found online at Nord Games, also not sponsored. But I really like their books. They expand on the monster races. The one that I am using for that is the undead, the cursed undead, and it expands on zombies and gives you different variations of zombies. It gives you plague-borne zombies. It gives you, instead of just the normal zombie, there's human zombies, there's elf zombies, dwarf zombies, goblin zombies, gnoll zombies, uh, troll zombies, ogre zombies, and it's just a lot of fun. Like they have higher challenge ratings. They got different variations on the normal stat block for differences between the different kind of zombies. It's just really, it adds a lot of flavor where there originally wasn't any flavor.
So there is a campaign that I'm technically doing that I didn't mention. But that's because it's like a side campaign. It's one of those things we do in between campaigns, and like we're only really doing individual character side missions right now.
Yeah.
But I'm playing another Goliath barbarian, but this one uses cestus or gauntlet weapons because he gimlied his fucking axe on a cursed object.
Yeah. So, I think that's going to be it for this stream. Next one next week, same time.
Sounds like a winner to me.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching. Even though currently we only have one viewer, which I think is you, Brent.
I actually got off the computer.
Oh, so we do have at least one viewer who has stuck around since the beginning, I believe. Thank you for watching. It's been fun to kind of sit back and recount what has happened and remember what has happened previously. And yeah, apologies if we didn't go in as much detail as you might have wanted, because we are very forgetful, and I have forgotten like most of the good juicy details of the campaigns. We are going to be doing this every single week, and we will be keeping up to date with the campaigns that we are running. So you will hear more juicy details about what is happening to the characters.
And also feel free to ask us questions about shit, because
Yes.
I mean we're just sitting here talking anyway.
We will answer any and every question that gets asked. And we are just here talking. It'd be cool to have people asking questions while we talk. And it'd be even cooler if they would ask questions about the campaigns that we were talking about. But I also know that that's a lot to ask. So we are going to call it for tonight. Tomorrow we are going to be playing Fear and Loathing, so we will have an update on that one next week.
Monday.
It's not as fun to say as Sunday.
No.
All right. Thank you for watching again, and hope to see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.